into this, Steve. And what I want to ask you is, okay, this is Mrs. Horstick, and Mrs. Horstick has lived here for how long? Were you born in?
No.
Okay.
1946 I came to Palmyra.
Okay. And to be with your husband, or why did you move to this area?
Well, Walter came home from the Navy in December of 45, and his mother died New Year's Eve. He was only home like 10 days. So there was my father-in-law without a housekeeper. So eventually in the spring I quit my job with the health department and stayed home and tried to make a home for the two men.
That's what people did then, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Women didn't go out to work an awful lot. What did you do for the health department?
I was a stenographer.
Okay, great. Okay, so you've been in Palmyra for since 46. Okay.
Off and on, yeah.
And you've raised your children here.
Right.
What do you think was the most significant thing that you remember about those years? Having a young family, becoming a grandmother. What was most significant to you about Palmyra versus living
Palmyra.
about Palmyra?
Gee, I can't think of any one thing about Palmyra. Most thing that happened to our family, Walter was called back in the Navy. Debbie was 11 months old and Ron was a little over 2 years old. And he was called back. And that's.
But you stayed in Palmyra, or you left with him?
No. I stayed. No, he was aboard ship most of the time.
Okay. So did you find a good support system here in Palmyra then, when he was away?
In the early years of my living in Palmyra, people weren't all that friendly.
Oh, that's interesting.
To outsiders. It's much more friendly nowadays.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. That's interesting. That's a very interesting comment. You think it's more friendly. Well, now, I know you're very active in the Flower Club. That's one of the reasons we're interviewing you. When did you get active in that? And tell me a little bit about the Flower Club, when it started.
Okay, in December of 1983, I came down Main Street, and I don't know if you remember, there were two candles. I think they were gold. And they had these plastic streamers coming from them. That's all we had at the square for Christmas. And I thought, well, if I start a garden club, maybe we can do something with this square. And we did. We put up, first thing was the Christmas tree. And so the club, I think our charter is May of 84. 84. I'd say we were organized by May of 84. That was our first meeting.
Okay. And how did you go about organizing that?
Well, I called my friend Charlotte Bowman and I said, I'm starting a garden club. Are you with me? She didn't think it was such a great idea, all that work. Then I called Evelyn Jennings and she thought it was a great idea. So we got together and made our bylaws and our programs. And I selected my other officers, and we went from there. There were about 34, something like that, members at that time.
And it started by word of mouth. One person asked another person, asked another person.
Well, that was a big part of it, I think, yeah.
Now tell me some of the things that the Garden Club has done through the years. I know today they're having, is it their annual flower show?
Annual
so they have an annual flower show?
Yes.
And tell us about that.
Well, it's always in September, and it's usually on a Friday, and due to the room being taken, we had to change to a Saturday. We're always well attended with entries. The members really respond very well.
Really?
I think we had 275 entries today.
Wow. Really? What else does the Garden Club do besides their annual?
Okay, we have monthly meetings with programs.
Okay.
It can be on anything pertaining to horticulture, flower arranging. We had, I forget his name right, Jack Hogwood.
Oh, okay. The animal guy
Yes.
from TV? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We have some on birds, anything with nature.
Okay. Right. Now, let's go back a little because you said when you came up with the idea for the garden club, Palmyra downtown had very little attractiveness, and
Correct.
particularly at Christmas.
Correct.
Okay, so the garden club started by putting. Did you plant that tree that's there now for the?
No, the evergreen is in front of the municipal building now. It was moved when they redid the square.
Okay, well, did the flower club have? That's what I was trying to get at. Did the flower club have responsibility for changing the square? Tell me about that.
Okay, Guy Goodman left $10,000 to the garden club, and from that we had to get more money, which we did through projects and contributions.
And how did, I didn't realize, so he was a member, Guy Goodman?
No,
Okay,
no.
but he knew of the garden club.
Oh, yes.
And for everybody's knowledge, Guy Goodman was a florist in
Correct.
Palmyra, and a
Correct.
very active florist
Yes.
for many, many years,
Correct.
and came to a tragic death in the
Yep.
end. But he left $10,000
Mm-hmm.
to the garden club.
Yes.
And how did you decide that you were going to use it for the square?
Well, the president at the time, and probably her vice president, had the plans drawn up and presented them, and I didn't like the Christmas tree being removed, but according to the architect that group up the fans, it had to be gone, so it was put out here then. So we still have that's the Douglas fir.
I didn't realize that. That's good information. That's about changing in Palmyra. Well, the square, however, looks beautiful.
It is nice.
It's a
yes.
beautiful center of town. That reminds me, someone asked me the other day, why do we call it the square when there is no square? It goes zigzag.
I know.
Did anybody ever talk about that?
No, I never heard anything why it's called a square.
I didn't either. But
And I don't know why people from town call it uptown instead of downtown, which,
that's true too. I never thought about that.
well, I'm into that now. I say uptown now too.
I never thought about that. Well, there's a clock there, right? Who put
Yes.
the clock up?
We did.
You did. The garden club put the clock there. And do you, on an annual basis, go and plant flowers at certain places?
Yes,
I thought I
we
saw
do.
pictures of that. Very good.
We plant the beds around the municipal building. We used to do more. In the past, we did more beds, but now we do it all around the municipal building
Oh, that's wonderful.
and maintain them. We have volunteers that work a week at a time, weeding and deadheading and whatever has to be done to the gardens.
That is a major chore.
It is.
I know.
It
I
is.
know what that's like. That's fabulous. So the garden club has been a significant organization in Palmyra, and since it only started in 1984, it would be for the past 30-some years. It's been very significant in the history of Palmyra.
Right.
Excellent. Very good. All right. Let's see. So one of my questions was, what contributions have you given to Palmyra? And I would say you gave them the garden club. That's excellent. I didn't realize that.
That's my baby.
That is. That's wonderful. It particularly at that time in your life, you didn't have grandchildren then, I don't think. You had, and your children were out of the nest, so it was a good thing for you to have something to get involved with.
I think I was 61.
Yeah. So you had a career change at that time.
Yeah, right.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
What did you do before that in regard to gardens? Just around your house? I remember you had a garden.
I was
around
born
your
and raised on a farm.
house. Okay. Okay, so you always loved the agriculture.
Right,
and
my
the
mother
things.
and dad were both very fond of flowers. Yeah, I came by it naturally.
That's wonderful.
It is.
Anything else you want to tell us about the significance of Palmyra to you, or what you feel Palmyra has done for you and your family, or anything like that?
No,
Any memories you have of the past, let's see, 60-some years living in Palmyra?
right.
What would you say is your most significant memory of that time?
It's tough.
Maybe it was starting the garden club.
That was, oh, definitely that is, but aside from that, I really have no significant memories.
Well, that's a pretty significant one in my mind, though.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you again for coming down.
Oh, you're
I
very
don't know.
welcome.
Maybe you would like to touch on like you did with the other gentleman, how much interest there is with the younger people and stuff.
Okay. You heard with Mr. Leonard.
No, I didn't hear
Okay,
you again.
you mentioned yourself, it's tough doing all the weeding and keeping up the gardens and so forth. Is the reason that you're not doing that you don't have a lot of younger people coming into the club? Could you utilize more younger people?
We could certainly use younger people. In the last year, I think probably younger, like your age.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. I'm
Yeah,
younger.
well, they were from your Ron's class.
Okay.
Cindy Bean,
Okay.
and yeah, we've had. at
So you are
least
getting
6.
some new members,
We were there for a while, yes.
and they're basically young retirees then
Yes,
that are coming in. But
Yes.
that's okay. They're still
that's
pretty
wonderful.
able to do things.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're about the age now that I was when I started the club.
Okay.
And we used to do it, the weeding and deadheading 2 weeks at a time, but now it works, they'd rather do it 1 week at a time.
Well, it can get ahead of you. I know.
Well, they keep after it.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I mean, if you have it 2 weeks ahead, and sometimes depending on the rain or whatever, it can really get ahead of you.
Well,
So you would say then, because I don't know who's going to see this video in the long run, but I hope it's going to be some younger people that we can get active to carry on the traditions that have been started in Palmyra. And you would say that the Flower Club, is it Garden or Flower Club?
it's Palmyra Garden Club.
Okay, the Palmyra Garden Club would be a great thing for young retirees to look at.
Yes, or anyone that has off on a Monday. We meet the third Monday of each month in the municipal building.
Okay.
And they would gain a world of knowledge from our programs, and the members help too. Now from this flower show, they ask questions, about this or that that's shown, and they learn. Even the visitors that come in to see the show, they learn a lot.
They learn a lot.
Mhm.
So it's something to keep your mind busy, and your fingers, and sort of your spirit, because growing things like that really is good for the spirit.
Absolutely.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank
you,
you.
Steve. Thank you. I appreciate comments like that. Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay. Do you know Mrs. Horstick? Mrs. Bueller?
Well, you
Mrs.
do.
Horstick is that